Syngenta Group has announced that it is expanding access to its genome editing and breeding technologies to academic researchers globally. This initiative, part of Syngenta's commitment to fostering innovation and enhancing sustainability in agriculture, is facilitated through the group's collaborative platform, Shoots Syngenta, which aims to foster innovation and sustainability in the agricultural sector. Syngenta's decision to provide rights to selected genome editing technologies, particularly optimized CRISPR's Cas12a, marks a significant step in agricultural innovation. CRISPR technology enables precise genetic modifications, allowing for the rapid development of improved plant varieties without the need to introduce DNA from other species. This could result in more productive and resilient crops, thereby addressing some of the most pressing challenges in agriculture. Gusi Wu, head of global seeds research at Syngenta, emphasized the transformative potential of CRISPR in agriculture, saying, "The increased use of CRISPR in agriculture can transform the way we approach plant breeding, accelerating the discovery and deployment of innovations that provide growers more productive and resilient crops. We are inviting universities and academic institutions from around the world to help us drive innovation to improve the sustainability of agriculture." Leading up to this announcement, Syngenta scientists had already been continuously innovating to improve CRISPR-Cas genome editing technologies. They had engineered a CRISPR-Cas12a to increase both its efficiency as well as utility, significantly optimizing it as a tool for crop improvement. This is the latest development in Syngenta's openness to sharing technology with both public and private entities, enabling a quick, straightforward access to its proprietary technologies for academic and non-profit research use. This was preceded by the 2023 launch of Shoots by Syngenta, which aims to create partnerships to tackle complex agricultural challenges. Since then, Syngenta has been leveraging the platforms to enhance collaboration and integration of diverse technological solutions. Through Shoots, it aims to break down barriers and encourage a wide array of scientists and researchers to contribute to solving agricultural challenges. Syngenta's head of global seeds research and development partnerships, Stuart Harrison, highlighted the platform's collaborative nature, saying that Syngenta, as its strategy was developed, realized it couldn't solve all the problems we were trying to attack from an agricultural perspective on our own. We saw collaboration as a key component of what we do as an innovative organization, but we only had a limited amount of resources that could reach outside of Syngenta, so we started a brainstorm around how we could connect our innovation ecosystem with the external innovation ecosystem. And that's where Shoots was born. It's our mechanism to share what we do and what our areas of research focus are, but also to identify key research challenges we're currently unable to solve. We're actively looking for partners and beyond that, using this as a mechanism to share innovation success stories where we've worked with collaborators, whether they be universities, startups, or other organizations, to solve some of the key problems growers are facing from an agricultural perspective. Syngenta aims to raise awareness of the Shoots platform and position it as a hub for collaborative innovation. Kendra Gittis, Open Innovation Lead for Seeds Research and Development Partnerships, said, "One of the things we want to do is broaden our reach beyond our current domain. So while engaging with academia and startups will help us gain a diversity of knowledge, we also want to expand and broaden our reach. By sharing our research challenges and needs, we're giving an understanding to those academics and startups of what we're looking for as Syngenta, but also through Shoots, we want to facilitate collaboration, make it easier for them to connect with the right people within Syngenta. By using the platform, they can very easily submit a research proposal or technology for evaluation and know that their idea has found the right people within Syngenta, which is a large organization to navigate as an external person, not knowing where to start." Harrison added that the Shoots portal was unique in that Syngenta was the only big agriculture company with a proprietary platform that allowed its scientists to connect with external scientists. At the same time, he said that unlike their competitors, Syngenta had chosen not to use third-party platforms. By having the Shoots capability, we actually can do much more than just promote or identify collaborators. We can also promote success stories. We're using it as a mechanism for distributing open source tools into the digital space as well. According to Howsam, the focus of Shoots is primarily to serve Syngenta's seeds and crop protection business units. As such, it has been looking at everything from early stage enabling technologies to cutting edge technologies associated with genome editing in the crop protection space, from formulation to sustainable chemistry. He added that the Shoots team had discovered and tapped into its ability to access adjacent industries, which is important as innovation in the agri-tech space comes not only from within the agricultural innovation community. A lot of the cutting-edge technologies such as genome editing or some of the cutting-edge crop protection technologies also coming from the pharmaceutical side for the innovation ecosystem. So this is where Shoots is uniquely allowing us to collaborate with people we've never thought about collaborating with before. He went on to explain Shoots' process and rationale for investment allocation. We identify a challenge we're going after within Syngenta, post that challenge outside, then receive solutions from people externally. That then promotes a conversation and hopefully a collaboration where we can take that technology forward. We pull together a technical team that does an evaluation, then decide on what we think is the best of the technologies to move forward with. So it's a technical deep dive into what's been sent to us, which we evaluate within our research and development teams to decide which is the most promising technology. Justice added that another priority for Shoots when making funding decisions was to ensure broad diversity of thought so that people outside Syngenta's current domain would engage with them and give them the green light to drive potential collaborations in that space. Harrison also outlined the core challenges and successes the platform has faced. One primary challenge has been educating Syngenta scientists on formulating questions that invite broader scientific engagement. This effort ensures that the challenges posed are not only relevant to Syngenta, but also solvable by a diverse scientific community beyond just major players. This inclusive approach has required extensive internal learning and adaptation over the past 6 months. I think educating our scientists to ask a question in a way that makes it accessible to the maximum amount of the scientific community is important, because if we're putting a challenge out there that can be solved only by Bayer, Corteva or Syngenta, it's not the right challenge or right question to be putting outside of Syngenta. So one of the things we've been working with our science teams is how to ask the right questions in order to be able to access the technology they need. Similarly, broadcasting that need as broadly as possible is something we've been learning how to do over the last 6 months as well. On the success front, Shoots has excelled in promoting and celebrating collaborative innovations. By effectively communicating these successful partnerships, Syngenta has been able to highlight the real-world impacts of collaborative efforts on its research and development processes. Notably, Shoots has connected Syngenta with unexpected partners, bringing in fresh perspectives and solutions from industries and research spaces previously not considered. Harrison said that collaborative innovation between us and third parties that's impacting Syngenta's research and development has been a great success story, and it's something that we haven't done as much in the past, but Shoots enables the messages to get out there. We've actually identified partners we never thought of for some of the challenges. That means it's working. We've seen some solutions coming in from industries and research spaces we hadn't thought about reaching out to. Kendra Gitters elaborated on the strategy behind building relationships through Shoots. The platform emphasizes ease of connection between external parties and the right individuals within Syngenta. It starts with external researchers submitting non-confidential descriptions of their proposals, ensuring that these submissions receive acknowledgement and timely triage to assess their fit within Syngenta's research strategy. This proactive engagement ensures that potential collaborators feel welcomed and are more likely to engage with Syngenta in the future. Justice also highlighted the importance of maintaining an active dialogue with potential partners rather than being a transactional tool. Shoots fosters ongoing relationships, allowing the Syngenta to re-engage with promising researchers as their technologies mature. Syngenta has hinted at significant upcoming announcements related to Shoots, indicating continued progress and new partnerships. In fact, it recently announced partnerships with IBM Research and US biotech firm Maxigen. Syngenta and IBM Research have leveraged IBM RxN, a language model-based software, to enhance chemical synthesis processes to enable faster and more efficient product development. This collaboration integrates predictive, reactively modeling with synthesis planning, improving synthetic workflows, and environmental sustainability. In its partnership with Maxigen, Syngenta Seeds is optimizing molecular enabling technologies through the directed evolution of proteins. This collaboration has produced protein variants with significantly improved attributes, contributing to novel intellectual property. Shoots by Syngenta is also seeking new collaborators for 6 specific challenges, ranging from creating chemical building blocks from biomass waste to developing diagnostic tools for crop growth indicators. The initiative invites proposals from academia, research institutes, startups, and cross-industry sectors. Is private equity investment best placed to serve agri-technology? It's a question that was put to Sao Paulo-based Brazil Aqua Capital, a private equity firm investing in sustainable and innovative companies within the agriculture and food sectors, which has announced the final closing of its Ag and Food PE Fund 3. Fund 3 has received $450 million of committed capital, surpassing its original target of $400 million. It will continue to apply Aqua Capital's successful middle market investment strategy in agriculture and food while partnering with management teams to drive value creation through operational enhancement, strategic change, improved governance, and successful integration of add-on acquisitions. We are in the midst of an extraordinary transformation of the agri-business and food value chains. Fund 3, this will seek to generate strong risk-adjusted returns by investing in companies leading the transition throughout the Americas, said Sebastian Povic, managing partner. We will continue to leverage our unique sector knowledge and reputation to identify sectors and companies poised for accelerated growth and deep transformation and systematically select companies capable of delivering strong growth and differentiation. Aqua Capital's investment strategy is based on acquiring and building platforms to become sector leaders through buy and build strategies and serial roll-ups. Investing in high-growth agribusiness and food companies led by strong entrepreneurs to help scale their proven business models, the focus on Funds 1 and 2 was across different segments of the agribusiness and food value chain in Latin America. The latest fund sees the company expand into North America. Fund 3 has already invested in 5 platforms across Latin America and the US, with almost 50% of its capital committed. The current portfolio includes investments in high-value sustainable ag inputs, omnichannel retailing, and ag tech services. Fund 3 is investing in companies across the Americas focused on regenerative agriculture, contributing to carbon reduction, positive changes in GHG emissions, and small and mid-sized farmers' inclusion. Fund 3 Limited partners are a diverse group of institutional investors from across the globe, including asset managers, sovereign wealth funds, endowments, development financial institutions, fund of funds, and family offices. Fund 3 received considerable commitments from returning limited partners, while also welcoming a significant number of new investors to the firm. With over $1.1 billion in assets under management, Aqua Capital is one of the largest private equity firms managing investments in innovative and sustainable businesses throughout the agribusiness and food value chain. The firm seeks to invest in companies with successful track records, strong management teams, and growth potential to become sector leaders. Since inception, Capital has made more than 45 investments grouped by platforms across the Americas, Latin, and North America. Aqua Capital says that through its professionalization, growth transformation, and impact value creation approach, it seeks to build successful, scalable, and sector-leading companies, with focus on investment themes like growing food demand, closing productivity gaps, solving sustainability challenges, changing consumer habits, and disrupting traditional models through innovation. The news of the Fund 3 close, meanwhile, comes amid a dip in global venture capital investments in the ag tech industry. Some commentators have suggested the traditional VC model isn't suited to ag tech because the expectations of a short-term return is not consistent with agriculture. The primary benefit of private equity investment over VC investing, on the other hand, is that private equity firms typically invest in more mature and established companies, which tend to be less risky compared to the early-stage startups that the VCs target. This benefit of private equity investment is one that Capital is using to its advantage. Our value creation approach is really operational rather than financial, said Aqua Capital partner Eli Ziskins. We're trying to use leverage more conservatively and modestly and generate value from our understanding of the industry and ability to open markets for other companies and position them rightly. We think we know where to identify value and which companies and areas are unique at a specific time. We have proven capabilities of opening markets to our companies. The company has a track record in taking family-owned or growth companies and positioning them as sector leaders. We've done it over and over again, and we have a unique track record in that. Some examples of successful investments made by Aqua Capital include AgroGalaxy, one of the main retail platforms of ag inputs and services focused on agribusiness in Brazil. It has also acquired US-based Nuvo Ag, a platform that provides inputs and value-added systems, such as product application and agronomic advice to farmers. Nuvo's AG operates a disruptive franchise model, which Aqua Capital is confident enables it to attract top-tier store owners and gain market share by providing superior services while creating high dependence and repeat business. Through these two companies, we can really open the market for any product or service companies in the Americas. Between these two companies, we sell about $200 million of biologicals, we sell a lot of ag services, and we finance farmers. As a result, these companies are themselves becoming an infrastructure for product or service companies to scale up through our connection and capabilities in an arm's length agreement. I think that's pretty unique in the industry. Another difference between capital and venture capitalists is that the latter typically takes more positions. We are more concentrated for good or for bad, said Ziskind. We make less bets on 8-10 portfolio companies A smaller number of bets allows more focus on its portfolio, he contends. Being so operationally involved means Aqua Capital can offer greater value for farmers, added partner Gustavo Iben. There is a disconnection between the Silicon Valley approach in VCs and the farmers, he said. Those two are not talking very well. Aqua Capital, by contrast, gets very involved operating our companies. When we invest in a company, we buy control and operate the company so that we are very close to the farmer. We think that sometimes VCs are very removed from the farmers and close to the valley. We don't have anything against VCs, but we were born as a private equity firm. That's what we have been doing for the last 3 funds. There are not many players in the market doing a private equity. We fill that gap very nicely. This guy stressed that Aqua Capital's current portfolio of investments in Hive is high value. Sustainable inputs, omnichannel ag, retailing and ag tech services is ultimately aimed at shortening the time of adoption of new technology products. Considering retail, for example, the go-to-market strategy is all about having really trusted advisors to the farmer with the ability to get them to use next-generation products because most of the farmer budget goes into one. The importance of comprehensive go-to-market strategy is again illustrated with Solubio, the Brazilian provider of on-farm biological solutions, in which Fund 3 took a stake. Solubio enables farmers to produce AG biologicals that like biopesticides and biofertilizers on site, reducing costs by up to 70% compared to off-the-shelf products. Solubio achieved over 116% CAGR revenue growth from 2018 to 2022. This kind of integrated system is well suited to biologicals, said Siskind, where there isn't one silver bullet type product suited to all farmers in all conditions. What makes sense in the biologicals market, he said, is a strong portfolio that considers ease of farmer application and how easy it is for the third-party channel to sell it to the farmer. The study of RNAI in biology has been around for decades, but the use of RNAI for crop protection is relatively new. They caught up with Canada-based Renaissance Bioscience Corp, which is developing a novel yeast-based RNA interference technology for sustainable and eco-friendly crop protection against insect pests. It believes there is a significant market opportunity for its technology. Up to 40% of a global crop production is usually lost due to pests, and $70 million is lost due to invasive insects. There is therefore a pressing need for effective, innovative, and environmentally friendly pest management solutions. An emerging one is RNAI technology. This uses double-stranded RNA, dsRNA molecules as effectively silence defective and undesirable genes that affect the economic traits of crops, leading to improvements in crop varieties. It is a concept that isn't quite there yet, but there are a lot of positives. Agrotherapy's Chief Technology Officer, Gleverson Morrow, who has nearly 25 years of experience of commercialization products, has said. Is not challenge-free, he said. Pests can still potentially develop resistance to RNAi over time, for example, while regulatory frameworks for approving and overseeing RNAi pesticides are still being developed. RNA molecules, meanwhile, can be directly applied onto crops without involving the RNAi mechanism, technology that new UK spin-out TraitSec is hoping to leverage to accelerate plant breeding and protection. Renaissance Bioscience, based in Vancouver, has developed technology that works by killing insect pests using RNA interference or an RNAi, which turns off target genes that are essential for the pests to survive or reproduce. This approach is based on gene sequences that are unique to the pests and will not harm other insects, plants, or humans. The study of RNA in biology has been around for decades, but the use of RNAi for crop protection is relatively new, said John Husneck, PhD, CSO and co-CEO, Renaissance Bioscience. Some of the main challenges, he explained, include the instability of the RNA bioactive in the agricultural environment, the cost of producing these molecules, and regulatory concerns about the effects of the delivery technology on the environment. To overcome these challenges, the company has developed a yeast-based production and delivery platform method whereby the RNAi molecules are produced by the yeast, which is a cost-effective, safe organism that has been used in food and agriculture for millennia. This addresses the historical challenge of RNA instability because the yeast acts as a coat of armor, protecting these valuable molecules from environmental degradation. It also addresses the thorny issue of cost because yeast can be manufactured using traditional established fermentation facilities rather than requiring a de novo synthesis. Importantly, our yeast is inactivated and it can be stored at room temperature and applied to plants using standard equipment. These benefits eliminate the requirement for novel methods of storage or application techniques. The initial focus is on controlling the Colorado potato beetle, a destructive pest of potato crops that is developing resistance to traditional chemical pesticides. This technology works best at coleopteran species. However, we are also actively expanding our reach to address lepidopteran pests as well. Because our technology is a plug-and-play system and can be designed to target a specific insect based on sequencing of the RNAI bioactive molecule, we have the capability of targeting a wide array of crop pests, provided the pest choose. In addition to our in-house target list pests of interest, we're also forming strategic partnerships with key industry players to develop tailored RNAI production and delivery systems for their specific pest challenges. To the aforementioned point that pests can still potentially develop resistance to the RNAI over time, Renaissance said it's possible to input up to 5 different gene targets in the one yeast. The odds of a pest developing resistance to one gene target is possible, but slim, it pointed out, but 5 at one time is astronomical. The company received Canadian regulatory approval in 2023 for extensive field studies to test efficacy, application rates, and crop protection using this technology. This type of product has already been approved in the US for use in crop protection, and we anticipate approval in other jurisdictions will follow shortly. Because our yeast is inactivated, the only bioactive ingredient is the RNAI, which is very specific, does not affect non-target organisms, and will degrade naturally in the environment. We do not anticipate significant challenges to regulatory approval as this technology becomes more and more commonly used. Lab and field trial data are already validate the system as a robust and cost-effective RNAI delivery method in the market. Last October, Renaissance was awarded its first patent by the Chinese Patent Office for its technology for the production and delivery of RNA bioactive molecules. The patent for our yeast that produces RNAI bioactives has been granted in China and is pending in an additional 7 jurisdictions. China is the global leader in the use of traditional pesticides and also in biopesticides, and they're very interested in environmentally friendly advances such as Renaissance RNAI biopesticide technology. The technology has not yet been fully commercialized. Renaissance, however, has made significant progress in developing its novel RNAI biopesticide technology and securing regulatory approvals and patents. It is in the advanced development and field testing stage, working towards an eventual commercial launch in collaboration with partners. There is an urgent need for effective, innovative, and environmentally friendly pest management strategies and solutions to address crop disruption and yield reductions, Hans Smith said. We believe that there is significant market opportunity for our technology. Our aim is to continue working with industry leaders to develop crop protection solutions to improve food security by providing a healthier, safer alternative to chemical solutions currently in the market. In addition, Renaissance is currently using its RNA technology to develop yeast-based orally delivered vaccines for livestock such as pigs, cattle, and poultry, and aquaculture that are delivered through consumption in feed. This technology can also be applied to deliver immune support bioactives, vitamins, and minerals to livestock and aquaculture through oral delivery in feed. Founded in 2017 by Malcolm Nutt and Jonathan Quigley, Smartlabs Cultivate has supported more than 50 both Australian and international companies through accelerated program. These companies today boast a combined market cap of over 1.7 billion Australian dollars and have raised more than $500 million in the follow-on capital. Examples include Australian companies Zetifi, which delivers reliable Wi-Fi to remote farms, seaweed-based feed company Future Feed, Ranchbot, which deploys small farm robots to improve water and resource use, proof that companies that began life down under can tap into universal agricultural technology challenges, and Woolemi, which offers audit-grade climate reporting for land agricultural portfolios. Smartlabs Cultivate most recently announced a tie-up with Kansas State University's Research Innovation and Partnership arm K-State Innovation Partners to drive more food tech growth. What's behind the success of the accelerator? At Smartlabs Cultivate, our success is driven by people. Since 2018, we have supported over 50 entrepreneurs in the agri-food tech sector, each with unique technologies, development stages, and geographic locations. We prioritize selecting the right individuals to join our network, and we focus on founders who are passionate about and coachable. We engage with experienced mentors committed to providing guidance and feedback to support entrepreneurs, and we select domestic and international partners enthusiastic about collaborating with our alumni. Our participants consistently highlight that our local networks and our growing alumni community are key to their success. Located in Orange, New South Wales, a prominent food production region and collocated with the NSW Department of Primary Industry, we place our participants at the heart of the food production and research and development ecosystem. This strategic location allows them to be close to their future customers and the broader industry. Our success in our first 5 years enabled us to partner with Challenger Group in 2022 to launch Cultivate Funds Management, a specialist agri-food technology ventures capital fund investing in Australian and global companies from seed to Series B. What's your approach? What companies have you backed and why? We invest in practical and scalable technologies that address challenges across the food value chain to improve the way we produce, distribute, and consume food. When backing companies, we consider market crowding, the total addressable market, adaptability, global potential, and the accumulated impact of an innovation from an environmental efficiency and economical perspective. The accelerator has a global mandate and primarily invests in developed markets. Our alumni includes innovations such as sustainable packaging solutions, advanced soil health technologies, labour-efficient robots, natural solutions for methane reduction, and more. Cultivate Funds Management has invested in 6 companies to date: Aruga, based in Israel, FutureFeed in Australia, Nutravert in USA, RNAI in Australia, Zetafi in Australia, and Exoflare in Australia. What are the sectors you see growth potential in? We are sector agnostic within the context of agri-food tech. We focus on companies that enhance existing food production systems with innovations that are so compelling, customers, whether farmers or other members of the agri-food ecosystem, will eagerly adopt them. Solutions that increase productivity, profitability, and time efficiency are particularly attractive investment options. With macro global trends, including emissions targets, labour shortages, and biosecurity concerns, technologies leveraging AI advancements and creating a more sustainable and resilient agri-food system are poised for growth. What else do you look for in companies you support? When evaluating companies for investment, we look beyond their specific product or service to assess several key factors. A strong leadership team that is open to collaboration is crucial. We also prioritize companies with a pragmatic approach to agriculture, ensuring they work synergistically with all participants in the supply chain rather than against them. This includes understanding and addressing the needs and challenges of suppliers, distributors, and other stakeholders to foster a cooperative and efficient ecosystem. Additionally, a commitment to sustainability is essential as it ensures the company is well positioned for long-term success and resilience in an evolving market. How do you build working relationships with founders? Our accelerator program allows us to develop deep working relationships with founders. We dedicate significant time to understanding each founder's personal motivations, strengths, and journey in addition to their company's technology and business model. Through hands-on collaboration, we gain a thorough understanding of the founder's needs, which enables us to provide tailored mentorship and support that extends well beyond the program's duration. We strive to be long-term partners, often serving on advisory boards and actively supporting companies through future fundraising and strategic decisions. By fostering trust and aligning ourselves with the founder's success, we cultivate relationships that endure across the entire entrepreneurial journey. How do you define success? Success is achieved when a company we've backed executes its strategy effectively and creates both strong financial returns and meaningful impact within the agriculture and food systems. It's rewarding to play a role in our portfolio's journey, providing capital and mentorship to support scalable solutions that benefit farmers, consumers, and the environment. What's your advice for startups amid the current investment downturn? Good founders will always get funded. All markets are cyclical, and agri-food tech is no different in that respect. For investors, there are significant opportunities for value creation in a subdued environment, so founders should ensure their value proposition is communicated effectively. Agriculture remains essential, and technology will play a pivotal role in addressing the challenges of supporting a resilient and sustainable food system. While some may view the current cycle pessimistically, the agri-food tech sector is poised for continued growth and innovation. The future remains promising for those who can adapt and articulate their unique value effectively. The concept of polyprodene has hit the headlines, but what is it and why are scientists keen to learn more about its potential impact in agriculture? David Friedberg recently revealed to an excited ag-tech world details about halogenetics radical plants to produce hardier and more productive crops. This involves artificially inducing the concept of polyprodene, where an organism has more than 2 sets of chromosomes to bring new levels of precision and speed to plant breeding. Harlow's technology works by disenabling the reproductive circuits in each parent plant. Normally, a random half of the genes of each parent go to the offspring, but by switching off this reproductive circuit and effectively controlling polyprodene, the offspring plant gets 100% of the genes from each parent. The fact the plant has more genes means it has more chances of inheriting a gene that will allow it to overcome or manage stress. Harlow's early trials have seen insane yield gains of 50% to 100% or more compared to regular plants. Why is there a growing interest in the polyprodene? Fresh on the heels of its announcement is the news that a new $12.5 million National Science Foundation grant has been given to establish the Polyprodene Integration and Innovation Institute at the Florida Museum of Natural History. Researchers with the institute will study the effects of polyprodene in plants and animals, from entire ecosystems down to organs and cells. The aim is that these insights will lead to eventual applications in a host of areas, including agriculture, conservation, and medicine. Polyprodene is in our hearts and livers, in the vegetables we eat, and in the rogue cells that cause cancer. But it's only within the last few years that how biologists have begun to recognize its significance across the tree of life. It's one of the most important biological processes that hardly anybody knows about, said Doug Soltis, a distinguished professor at the Florida Museum of Natural History. Meanwhile, the more we do know about it, the more we foresee its positive impact in agriculture. For example, it appears that controlling polyprodene can help in combating environmental stresses and improve crop resistances to pests and diseases, but it's not entirely clear how polyprodene can alleviate stress responses. Somehow, having extra gene copies can promote novel responses. Nearly all crops are polyprodene. There is therefore great interest, says Siltus, in understanding the benefits and drawbacks to polyprodene for engineering the next generation of crops. He predicts a huge role for greater understanding about polyprodene in agriculture and also the new bioengineering economy. If engineered polyprodene cells can generate much more of a particular needed chemical compound than can diploids, he said. This will be used more and more in the bioeconomy to make medicines, you name it. The role of polyprodene in producing climate-resilient crops. At its most basic, polyprodene simply means having more than the normal pair of matching chromosomes. Typically, when plants and animals undergo sexual reproduction, the 2 sets of chromosomes, one from each parent, combine to create a new organism. Humans have been aware of this concept since Austrian Gregor Mendel established the foundations of genetic inheritance by conducting experiments with pea plants. But occasionally, this process goes awry, and instead of a pair of chromosomes, offspring are endowed with additional chromosome sets in a process called genome duplication. This happens frequently in plants, and for several decades, botanists were the only ones that took a significant interest in the subject. The process can be so prevalent that some plants carry around 8 or more chromosome pairs packed tightly in their cells. What is the utility of all this extra genetic material? Scientists once thought it didn't have much use at all. They then discovered it was one of the most common ways new species are formed. According to Solstice, they're still learning this. My own view is there are hundreds of thousands of cryptic polyploid species that we have never recognized or scientifically named. Polyprodene has been implicated in the origin of seeds, flowers, and several plant lineages, including nearly every cultivated plant humans grow for food. And for reasons that remain unclear, there are fewer known polyploid species in the tropics than there is in cold regions, and the incidence of genome duplication appears to be higher at increased elevations. Again, this may also have serious implications for how well plants are able to cope with rapid climate change. Polyprodene is already known to shape the structure of biodiversity across the plant, especially since polyploids are often more successful in stressful environments, added Robert Guralnick, co-principal investigator on the grant and curator of biodiversity informatics at the Florida Museum. Polyprodene is everywhere, but there is so much we don't know. There's so much we don't know yet, Guralnick said. What's exciting and unusual about this effort is bringing together what we can learn from lab experiments about how polyploids perform under different conditions with patterns we see across landscapes. This knowledge is necessary for sustaining biodiversity and critical ecological services of value to society. Polyprodene is everywhere, Soltis said. It's a giant iceberg and we're at the very tip. The Institute will use new and unique data management tools and prioritize community engagement to gain as much insight as possible. We want to conduct a set of experiments that is consistent across organisms. This is the first time we'll be able to determine whether there are consistent rules that govern polyprodene. A bipartisan bill introduced into the US House of Representatives aims at promoting agricultural sustainability and supporting efforts to reduce methane emissions by 30% below 2020 levels by 2030. The Enteric Methane Innovation Tools for Lower Emissions and Sustainable Stock, Emit Less. Its act was introduced on the June 11th by Republican representatives Jasmine Crockett and Mark Molinaro as companion legislation to the Senate version. The bill is supported by a diverse coalition, including agriculture and environmental groups. By expanding the U.S. Department of Agriculture's research and incentivizing the adoption of emissions reducing practices on farms, the bill aims to mitigate the environmental impact of enteric methane emissions from American dairy and beef cattle operations, noted the American Feed Industry Association, AFIA. The trade group said it believes this legislation will bring the US closer to meeting its global methane pledge, which intends to reduce methane gas by 30% below 2020 levels by 2030. Feed and feed ingredients such as methane inhibitors and modifiers offer a promising avenue for achieving this goal, but the country will only realize their full benefits should farmers elect to use them once they have made it to market approval. The US agricultural value chain needs legislation like this and an innovative Feed Act to effectively leverage these novel feed ingredients to meet its methane reduction targets and pave the way for sustainable livestock production practices worldwide. The agricultural sector accounts for 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions in the US, and enteric methane is the single largest source of agricultural methane emissions. What does the Emit Less Act do? Specifically, the bill would create enteric methane product and practice testing capacity through USDA's Agricultural Research Service, ARS, establish and expand training programs that familiarize farmers and ranchers with practices that reduce enteric methane emissions, add practices that reduce greenhouse gas emissions, including enteric methane under USDA's Conservation Innovation Grants and Farm Conservation Innovation Trials, direct USDA to review conservation practice standards that can assist in reducing enteric methane, revise those as needed and establish any appropriate new standards, and amend USDA's Environmental Quality Incentives Program, EQIP, and Conservation Stewardship Program, CSP, to provide financial incentives for farmers and ranchers to voluntarily use products and implement practices that reduce enteric methane. Andrew Lentz, Director of Federal Affairs for Agriculture Policy at US nonprofit the Environmental Defense Fund, EDF, commended the move, saying that the draft law would support US livestock producers in lowering methane. The bill is an essential proposal to empower farmers and ranchers to address methane emissions from livestock. Methane is one of the biggest drivers of climate change today. Intensifying and supporting producers in lowering of these emissions, including the enteric methane that livestock emit as they digest their food, is essential for securing a safe climate and the long-term global competitiveness of the US dairy and meat industries. If enacted, the Emit Less Act will advance lower methane livestock production in two ways. First, it will boost financial support and training to enable more producers to adopt enteric methane solutions more quickly. Second, it will accelerate research into additional solutions which will provide producers with even more safe, proven solutions to choose for their operations. Farmers and ranchers will benefit from this bill being included in a final bipartisan farm bill package. Battery, a spin-out from the University of Bath, creates sustainable power from bacterial batteries that harvest electricity from soil. A new startup is aiming to form a new source of sustainable power by creating a battery that recharges itself when placed in soil. Battery, a University of Bath spin-out company, has developed bacteria-powered batteries, or batteries, which harvest green energy from soil by taking advantage of natural processes that occur in microorganisms within it. The company's CEO, Dr. Jakob Gowski, who undertook a PhD in chemical engineering at the university before setting up the company, explained our initial goal is to leverage the unique battery technology to accelerate the shift towards digitalization within the agriculture sector. As precision agriculture continues to demonstrate its effectiveness in boosting yields and conserving resources, the demand for sensors and Internet of Things devices continues to rise. These electronics collect and relay data on the state of the fields, empowering farmers to make well-informed decisions. However, current on-farm power delivery methods such as obstructive cabling, single-use chemical batteries, and weather-dependent solar panels largely restrict deployment of agri-data solutions. These sensors also typically require a power supply. For this reason, researchers are investigating the use of soil microbial fuel cells, a type of earth battery, to power these sensors directly from the soil they are monitoring. An earth battery is a pair of electrodes made of two dissimilar metals, such as iron and copper, which are buried in the soil or immersed in a conductive liquid like seawater. The soil or liquid acts as an electrolyte, allowing a flow of electrons between the two metals to generate an electrical current. Battery, meanwhile, says it wants to offer a more practical affordable and reliable means of powering these electronics through soil itself. The technology has a reusable lifespan of over 25 years and an anticipated cost of around £25 per unit with no maintenance expenses, with the company promising install and forget functionality. Batteries technology builds on soil microbial fuel cells, SMFCs, which harness energy from the metabolic activity of specific microorganisms known as electrogens naturally present in soil. Electrogens have the unique ability to generate electrons during the consumption of organic compounds. These electrons are grabbed by the SMFCs and are forced to travel through an external circuit, producing electricity. The team proved the concept in 2019 by building a soil-powered water disinfection system for decentralized communities. The prototype was tested in Ikapu, a fishing village in a remote semi-arid part of northeast Brazil, where the main source of drinking water is rainwater and access to a reliable power network is scarce. Since then, the company has developed a way to effectively scale and sustain electricity generation. They achieve this using innovative designs and custom energy harvesting strategies, tailored to the biological processes in the ground. The firm will spend the upcoming 12 months refining their prototypes before advancing towards small-scale production. Ahead of the 2026 product launch, the team is inviting potential collaborators and investors in relevant fields to get in touch. Batteries directors also include chemical engineer Professor Morelli Di Lorenzo and electronic engineer Dr. Ben Metcalf. Both are based in the university's Facility of Engineering and Design and are deputy directors of Bio, the Centre for Bioengineering and Biomedical Technologies. Professor Mirella Di Lorenzo said farmers are increasingly valuing the importance of data to make informed decisions towards resource-efficient agricultural practices. We are removing the barrier to generating that data by creating a sustainable way to power sensors and making them always on cheap, low maintenance and low impact. Dr. Ben Metcalf added, "This is a powerful illustration of how our battery technology could be used, but this is just the first application of what we believe is a great method of generating clean energy in an innovative, sustainable way." Dr. Jakub Żygalski concluded, "Bringing our product to the stage and putting theory into practice through several years of research has been a challenging yet incredibly rewarding experience. It wouldn't have been that possible without our great team and the support of many others along the way. I'm excited to see the company make a positive difference in agriculture and in other sectors. We look forward to sharing more about the upcoming advancements of battery technology and future applications in the near future."
The manufacturing arm of Morrisons is set to deploy digital twin technology as part of its bid to reduce energy use and carbon emissions. The 49,000 square foot site in Winsford, Cheshire is operated by Morrisons Food Group and will become the UK's first large-scale food production facility to use the digital twin technology from a global climate technology firm IES as part of its net zero journey. Supplying the 497 Morrisons stores across the UK, Morrisons Food Group owns 19 food manufacturing locations, including Winsford, where 600 people are employed. This live digital replica of the Winsford site will respond and behave like its real-life counterpart, providing operational insights and forecasting the impact of retrofit options in order to inform decarbonisation plans. The technology works by developing a digital energy model of the site using the IES virtual environment, giving detailed information on the building layout and HVAC systems and occupancy profiles. The model is then fed with metered data from the factory to create a performance digital twin. This performance digital twin can then be linked to energy and carbon management platform IES Live, which can forecast the effectiveness of various energy and carbon conservation measures. These range from simple operational adjustments to the deployment of renewables on site. Once retrofit options have been implemented, IES Live can track and verify that the predicted savings have been realised. The project estimates that energy savings of up to 20% will be achieved in the short term, with further savings to be made down the line. Morrisons Food Group has committed to reaching net zero on its own operations by 2035, ahead of the wider industry's target of 2040. Commenting on the project, Adam Goves, his sector leader for manufacturing and infrastructure at IES, said, "This collaborative project is a major milestone that sets a precedent for the wider food manufacturing industry. It's great to be on board with Morrisons Food Group at this major milestone in its sustainability journey, providing the business with the evidence base to help make informed decisions about future operations at its Winsford facility." Sophie Throop, Manufacturing Technical and Sustainability Director for Morrisons Food Group, added, "We're looking forward to working working with IES to help create a digital footprint for the Winsford site. We hope that through this partnership, the technology will improve our efficiencies throughout the site and help us work towards our goal of having net zero carbon emissions across our own operations by 2035, giving us learnings we can use across the rest of our manufacturing sites.
As global food demand rises, agriculture stands out as the fastest growing animal protein sector. However, the sustainability of current aqua feed protein ingredients remains a pressing concern. New research has shown that repurposing wastewater from soybean processing for milk and meat alternatives may provide a solution. In a recently published paper as highlighted by Anthropocene, Singapore University-based researchers documented their evaluation of microbial immunity-based single-cell proteins, SCP, derived from soybean processing wastewater as a partial substitute for fish meal protein in juvenile Asian sea bass. Food processing wastewaters SCP grown on food processing wastewaters FPWW holds promise as a sustainable source of protein in animal feed, say the Singaporean tea. FPWW possess attractive features for SCP production, including a continuous global production of processed water rich in dissolved carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus compounds. These wastewaters are also considered free of pathogens, heavy metals, and other harmful contaminants. FPWW can support microbial growth in bioreactors from which cells can be recovered and dried to create products suitable for animal feed ingredients. This process avoids the cost of treating such wastewaters and represents an important step towards a circular bioeconomy. The study. Wastewater from a soybean processing company in Singapore was supplied for use in small bioreactors and incubated it for several days at 30 centigrades to encourage microbial growth. The protein-enriched bacteria was then harvested from the sludge, dried, combined with water, and processed it into a mash suitable for fish feed. The SCP was composed of beneficial genera Acidopropion bacterium and Propion conclave, known for their probiotic properties and valuable metabolite production, reported the authors. During a 24-day feeding trial, fish were fed either a control fish meal diet or an experimental diet with 50% fish meal replaced by the microbial SCP. Both diets met the nutritional needs of juvenile Asian sea bass, except for lysine, said the team. Results showed no significant differences in growth performance, feed conversion ratio FCR, specific growth rate SGR, and survival between the control and experimental groups after 24 days. The experimental group has less variability in terms of weight gain and FCR than the control group. This preliminary trial study showed that 50% of fish meal protein might be replaced with microbial community-based SCP, produced from soybean processing wastewater without affecting Asian sea bass growth or survival, and that an SCP replacement diet may also lead to less variable fish growth than a traditional diet containing only fish meal as protein source. Future studies should consider longer growth periods and higher fish meal replacement levels, as well as additional aquaculture species and other types of FP. Overall, we demonstrated that microbial community-based SCP has potential as an alternative value-added ingredient for aquaculture feed, which can help in the transition to a circular bioeconomy. Created using the US company's proprietary gene editing platform that offers novel tools for CRISPR applications in plants, this is the first time that seedlessness has been achieved in any caneberry, it says. We are thrilled to share this breakthrough achievement from our talented research and development team. Pairwise scientists have used their deep knowledge of plant genetics, broad suite of CRISPR tools, and multiplex editing techniques to eliminate the hard pits in berry fruit, creating the soft, small seeds like those found in grapes and watermelon that are commonly labeled as seedless, said Ryan Bartlett, Pairwise's chief technology officer. The result is the first seedless blackberry in the world. We expect that this trait will not only transform the blackberry market, but it also lays the groundwork for accelerated progress in removing seeds and pits in many other fruits such as cherries. These plans were outlined in April. It believes that using CRISPR to offer consumers tangible benefits such as improved flavor, consistency, and convenience can steer gene editing technology into the mainstream. The berry variety we edited is consistently sweet year-round and holds up well during shipment. Now consumers will have the option to choose a nutritious blackberry without seeds that also reliably delivers great flavor and quality, added Haven Baker, Pairwise co-founder and chief business officer. Blackberries are a snackable fruit with significant health benefits. However, data indicates that more than 30% of the berry buyers do not like the seeds, and many more do not even buy the fruit because of the seeds. In addition to creating the first seedless caneberry, Pairwise says it has successfully edited the same variety to eliminate thorns and create a more compact plant that delivers benefits for harvesters, growers, and the environment. The thornless and compact traits enable more efficient fruit harvesting and improve productivity and profitability for growers. The new compact trait means the plants are smaller and can be planted at a higher density per acre. Early data from pairwise-led trials indicate the potential to greatly increase yield per acre while necessitating only a minimal increase in inputs, meaning the water and land used per crate of fruit harvested decreases significantly. Our high-density compact and thornless traits contribute to a more sustainable food system. The absence of thorns and reduced height of the compact plants allow berry harvesters to better access the fruit and leave less on the plant, reducing food waste and further improving the growers' economics. With the precision of CRISPR, we're able to develop these thornless and compact traits without sacrificing consistency in flavour and quality for consumers, said Baker. We're excited to advance these berries into the next phase of product development, including outdoor field trials, as we work towards scaling up and making them available to the public in a few years. A key challenge in our food system is helping people eat more high-quality, healthy foods. As part of our drive to increase the consumption of fruit and vegetables, we're working to provide consumers with new, highly nutritious food options with improved flavour and convenience, said Tom Adams, Pairwise co-founder and CEO. With a deep understanding of the plant genome, an accurate, efficient and scalable process, and streamlined pathway to commercialization, we're not only creating new products with our proprietary CRISPR technology, we're creating a new era of innovation in agriculture. Canada is to invest $1.7 million Canadian to improve beef and dairy cattle genetics. The funding would be put towards artificial intelligence, machine learning and other new technologies able to capture genetic traits data more efficiently. The Canadian Ministry of Agriculture and Agribusiness will set up aside $1.627 million to fund genetics traits research for beef and dairy cattle. The funding will be provided to the non-profit association Canadian Angus Association, who in partnership with Holstein Canada will invest in new genetic evaluation tools to monitor for traits that would increase farmer profitability and further the knowledge of genetic selection across the beef and dairy industries. Canada's Agriculture Minister Lawrence Macaulay told the press that investing in new technologies would enhance the industry's economic and environmental sustainability, while putting more money in the pockets of producers and more top-quality Canadian products on tables around the world. The Canadian Angus Association is set to leverage the federal funding to invest in tools powered by artificial intelligence, machine learning and computer vision systems, able to capture large volumes of data on traits that can inform health and welfare practices, improve environmental performance and bolster producer profitability. Canada's Agriculture Ministry said that sales of cattle and calves have totaled $50 million in 2023, with $8.6 billion generated from milk and cream sales. Miles Imerka, CEO Canadian Angus Association, concluded the Canadian Angus Association exists to preserve and expand the breed for Canadian cattle producers and beef consumers, doing so in part by leading research and development projects. We are very grateful to Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada for supporting our project through the Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership. Through this project and in partnership with Holstein Canada, our goal is to leverage cutting-edge camera and artificial intelligence (AI) technology to develop new ways to measure traits for Angus and Holstein cattle. These traits impact producer profitability, animal health and welfare, and carcass quality.
Sleaford Quality Foods has entered into a 3-year strategic partnership with the Natasha Allergy Research Foundation. The ingredients firm will support the charity's work to raise awareness of food allergies as well as help fund new scientific research. Commenting on the partnership, Sleaford Managing Director James Arnold said, "As a key importer and supplier of food ingredients, and by working with our robust global supply chain, we have a responsibility to ensure we do everything we can to prevent allergic reactions to food products experienced by so many people in the world today. So we're supporting Natasha's foundation to help them fulfill their ambition to make allergy history. The issue is close to our heart. The young family of one of our colleagues have directly experienced allergic reactions, so we are more than aware of the need for the food sector to urgently address this challenge." The Natasha Allergy Research Foundation was founded in 2019 by Tanya and Nadim Ednaroos after their daughter Natasha died aged 15 from a severe allergic reaction to sesame. Their campaigning in the wake of her death led to the creation of Natasha's Law, also known as the UK Food Information Amendment, which requires food businesses to provide full ingredient lists and allergen labelling on food that is pre-packaged for direct sale. Tanya Edlin Laperouse added, "The unprecedented rise in allergic disease over the last 30 years means there's never been a more important time to understand what is fueling the global allergy epidemic. So many people today are living with a food allergy, including 1 in 13 school children. That's why we are delighted that Sleaford Quality Foods are joining us in the fight to make allergy history. Their support is funding the important work we are doing to raise awareness of food allergies and carry out new scientific research." The growth of the alternative proteins market, which includes plant-based, cultivated meat and fermented products, has been one of the most significant developments in food manufacturing over the past 20 years. Where once vegetarian and vegan diets were considered niche, more people in the UK are opting to reduce their consumption of meat and animal products or cut them out altogether every year. However, it has not been plain sailing for the relatively young category. The past year or so has seen the market reach a consolidation stage, with some brands being bought up by bigger players and others exiting altogether. Several countries have sought to implement new rules designed at reducing confusion around the labelling of meat-free products, while others have been banned the development of new technologies, such as cultivated meat. All in all, it is fair to say that this sector will continue to generate headlines, especially as manufacturers come under more pressure from consumers and governments to offer sustainable food options. According to research by the University of Oxford, a high meat diet leads to 10.24 kilograms in CO2 emissions per day, whereas vegetarian and vegan diets contribute 4.16 kilograms and 2.47 kilograms respectively. With that and other research in mind, it is incumbent upon the sector to get people eating less meat, but in a way that leads to a sustainable future for the sector. To take stock of this, they spoke to several key players within the alternative protein space and asked where we are and where we might be going. According to the EU-based Smart Protein project, the UK is one of the largest markets for alternative proteins in Europe. In 2020, sales of products across the category reached nearly £640 million, while British firms in the space raised £41 million during that same year. Furthermore, the investment in alternatives proteins between 2019 and 2020 represents 90% of the total investment made in the UK category since 2006, evidence of its rapid growth in recent years. Looking ahead, the Green Alliance products that the UK alternative proteins market could be worth £6.8 billion annually and create 25,000 jobs by 2035. But what has driven the category to develop? Sandy DeHauer, Global Marketing Director for Meat and Dairy Alternative Solutions, Cargill, believes that the pursuit of sustainability has been a primary driver. With the pressing challenge of feeding a fast-progressing global population more sustainably, there's a growing imperative to explore alternative protein sources. This imperative is mirrored in consumer preferences, with sustainability being a top consideration, alongside desires for healthier and more mindful eating habits. This analysis is supported by health-focused international findings, which showed that 62% of consumers in EMEA have expressed interest in plant-based protein options, with that number even higher among younger people. Alison Riley, head of marketing at the vegan food group VFG, echoed DeHauer, while she also pointed to concerns about animal welfare and health. The alternative protein category has been shaped and driven by consumers seeking more ethical, healthy and environmentally sustainable options to meat, due to heightened awareness of the destructive impact meat has on animal welfare, our health and the planet. Palm Baines, co-founder of plant-based Asian food manufacturer Chicken, added, awareness of how animal-based products are produced, the environmental impact, combined with the cruelty animals are enduring, has increased significantly over the past 5 years, through social media and popularity of documentaries such as The Game Changers and The Blue Planet. In addition to ethical and environmental considerations, Director for EMEA Protein Marketing at ADM, Alicia Humpert, credits improvements made to the taste of products that now fill supermarket shelves. The alternative protein market has expanded to encompass an array of offerings, reaching beyond the veggie burger to whole muscle meat alternatives and plant-based frozen treats. Consumers' demand for protein diversity and choice drives this evolution. Consumers also recognize protein consumption is not an all-or-nothing approach. Rather, there are a spectrum of options that can meet their needs, thus opening up the category to more protein exploration and innovations. This change has been brought about by advancements in food science and technology. Companies are now able to create products that closely mimic the sensory experiences of traditional meat, dairy, and eggs, satisfying the curiosity of consumers eager to explore new dietary possibilities without compromising the sensory experience. While the growth of of the alternative proteins category has been significant, it has not yet managed to appeal to a proportion of consumers. According to data published by the Smart Protein Project, 37% of UK consumers said that taste was preventing them from eating more plant-based products, while 43% cited price as an obstacle. When asked what the food industry can do to increase the appeal of meat-free alternatives, Consumer Director at Quorn Foods Jill Riley said that improving taste perceptions must be central to its approach. Taste is still the number one driver when it comes to all food decisions. We know that a barrier for people considering a meat-free can be the idea it won't be the same as the meat dishes they're used to. We continue to challenge this perception with all of Quorn's product launches. Riley explained that Quorn has placed specific emphasis on understanding what consumers want and ensuring its products are accessible. Investing heavily in consumer research, taste and sensory technology allows us to keep creating products that our shoppers love and that make switching to meat-free so simple and enjoyable. Baines agreed, saying that the key to the future of alternative proteins was quality, quality, quality. Manufacturers have to invest in research and development and up their game to ensure that alternative protein products close the gap between the animal protein they are replicating in terms of texture, appearance, flavour and nutritionals. Only then can they attract a larger, wider target audience. In addition to quality, Humper argued that the nutritional content of meat-free products will continue to come under greater scrutiny. Alternative proteins have not been exempt from the ongoing debate surrounding ultra-processed foods, UPFs, and ADM research has shown that nearly half of consumers interested in the category seek plant-based products with an enhanced nutritional profile. Familiar plant proteins like soy, pea, and wheat, coupled with lentils and other wholesome ingredients, such as beans, pulses, ancient grains, seeds, and nuts, cater to a wide range of dietary preferences. However, while consumers see various benefits in plant-based products, 55% and 61% of global plant-forward consumers feel they're missing certain nutrients in plant-based meat and dairy alternatives. Manufacturers can solve this challenge by incorporating ingredients like fiber, pre, pro, and postbiotics, botanicals, and more to meet consumer demands for expanded food and nutrition optionality, ultimately making protein alternatives more attractive to consumers. New technology will also be crucial as the industry looks to develop a broad range of alternative protein products that taste good and appeal to a diverse range of consumers. Cargill is working with several partners with this in mind, including Cocos and Enough. Innovations such as whole cup technologies and cultivated proteins offer promising avenues for creating meat analogues and hybrid products. We're helping Cocos scale up its technology for producing plant-based bacon with a goal of producing as much as 1,000 tons of 3D printed plant-based bacon in 2024. Moreover, partnerships like Cargill's collaboration with Enough showcase the potential for more sustainable protein production through mycoprotein fermentation. Enough's abundant mycoprotein not only addresses environmental concerns, but also offers meat-like textures, desirable nutritional profiles, and scalability. After years of growth, 2023 proved a difficult year for the many firms within the alternative protein space. It was first reported in June of last year that both Plant and Bean and Meatless Farm had entered administration, with rising costs and the competitive nature of the sector citing as a contributing factor in each instance. A few months later, and Love Satan announced that it had ceased trading. Plant and Bean was acquired by V-Bites, which subsequently went into administration itself before being revived under the leadership of Heather Mills, while Meatless Farm was bought by BFC Foods. Both brands are now part of VFG. The group also acquired Clive's Purely Plants last year, before also purchasing Tofu Town in February 2024. Asked to reflect on the amount of consolidation in the sector, Wiley attributed the trend to several variables. Some brands lack product quality, while others have priced themselves out of the market, and this has led to competitors being unable to manage rising input costs. At VFG, we have been fortunate to have the backing of a single investor who is committed to the movement and the sector, whereas many brands have been funded by multiple investors who backed out when the market became more challenging. Quorn and Wiley noted that while the market was inundated with new products, not all managed to keep shoppers coming back. Focusing on products that will recruit and keep shoppers in the category is key. This is driven by quality food that tastes great and is available at accessible price points. For brands to stay out on shelf, it is also vital to continually invest in long-term growth, as well as responding to the changing needs of the consumer in the short term. Finally, Baines agreed that this period of consolidation was typical for any young category where numerous brands look to capitalize on an opportunity. However, he witnessed the crucial variables of taste and price being placed too low down the priority priority list by certain firms. This has all inevitably led to some brands not going the distance. The alternative proteins category has come a long way, but still has untapped potential. In order to keep growing and appeal to more consumers than ever before, though, Humpert believes that investment in technology, infrastructure, and research is essential. Collaboration across the industry, including working with manufacturers, academics, and startups, is also critical for advancement. For example, ADM recently unveiled a new innovation centre on the grounds of Wageningen University in the Netherlands to enhance customer collaborations and work closely with industry partners, ensuring new product development in the plant-based space addresses formulation requirements and evolving consumer demands. Meanwhile, Baines warned that industry cannot become overconfident, as satisfied with the progress made up until this point. Continued investment into product innovations to drive mainstream appeal is key for this category. Continually improving product quality remains a key factor, and brand owners should not become complacent, but stay ahead of the competition by delivering the very best products in the market. As for corn, Riley said that the manufacturer was committed to delivering at taste but at an affordable price. She added, "We know that value for money continues to be on shoppers' minds. We'll be keeping this at the forefront of our strategy, challenging taste and affordability perceptions." While many brands and products come and go, corn has been a constant, also delivering a share growth ahead of the total market in key areas. De Houwer echoed this sentiment and explained that affordability was key if the category was to attract meat eaters and those looking to reduce the consumption of animal products. Achieving a price parity with animal-derived solutions is imperative, necessitating innovation to optimize production processes and reduce costs. We can do this through innovation, doing more with less, and leveraging our full portfolio of solutions. If this price parity is achieved, ADM research has shown that consumers are curious to experiment with a wide range of alternative protein offerings. When asked about technological advances, global plant-forward consumers stated they're most interested in trying plant-based products with novel plant-based ingredients, followed by hybrid alternative options, then fermentation-derived sources, and lastly, cellular agriculture-created products. As we look ahead, there is great opportunity for manufacturers to leverage new protein sources, blends, hybrids, and advancements in technology that can support an optimized sensorial experience and nutritional value. Whatever comes next, the stakes are high as the global food industry looks to reduce its impact on the environment and bolster food security into the future. Whether the innovation and investment that is necessary arrives remains to be seen.